Okay, let's do this. Boxing talk, people. Boxing talk. From your man. I think you know my name by now. I think you know my name by now. So let's do this. Cover a couple of topics. And then get the hell out of it. Okay. Quite a bit to cover. Quite a bit to cover. Quite a bit to cover. I'm sure I dropped the link. Hit the thumbs up if you can. You know what I mean? Depending on how much of you are in here. Hit the thumbs, hit the like. Spread the word. Yep. Spread the word, people. Spread the word. Spread the word. All right. Yes. Are you working through the night, Anthony? Yeah, man. It's all good. You got Bugsy Icon. How you doing? Lennox. There's a link there for anyone who wants to talk some boxing. The link is there. Claudius Ignatius. What's good? Warp Speed. Big up Anthony Mackin. Catching up on the paperwork, yeah? So good. So good. So good. It's once you haven't got, either a job or paperwork to do that, that's when it's an issue. You know what I mean? That's when it's an issue. When you got nothing to no stake in nothing, then it's an issue. You know what I'm saying? Dio Binuli, the fight doctor. All right. So Tank Davis. 10 to 15 million. Will he take the fight? And if Eddie is insistent on the fight staying at 147, will he take the fight? Now Eddie better not, well, it's not up to Eddie, it's up to Conor. You see what? I understand what you're saying, Ken Hyde. But you're saying Eddie seems keen to cash out on Conor. No world title aspirations anymore. Oh, someone's saying the mic's a bit low. Well, you'll have to turn your shit up because you know what I mean. You'll have to turn your shit up, me old China. If the mic's low, it is what it is. You'll have to turn it up. I've got it up high on the setting. I have it up pretty high. Adjust the mic setting. Yeah, I've got it up pretty high. Wizard Sleeve, he says, Ben has beat nobody, perfect for Tank. Dion Bunuli, I like big fights, but I like fights to mean something, to lead to somewhere. What is the relevance of this fight? Your mic is fine, B. Big up Dion Bunuli. Big up. Yeah, I thought it was okay when I heard it on the playback just now. Sounded okay. The fight, in terms of world title boxing, it has no relevance at all because Conor, like I said earlier, is a 147 pounder masquerading as a 150 pounder, and Tank is a 135 pounder who will rehydrate you if he's taking anything at 140. So as limited as some may feel Conor is, He's still not gonna. Will he chance taking Conor at 147? Because wherever they feel Conor lacks in skills and experience, are they confident enough to put Tank in with someone a lot bigger than him, who's not rehydrated? I mean, not high, not drained. You know, will they do that? That's the question. LS Legend, he says, Tank not serious about the fight, especially if Ben can't fight in the UK. Ken Hyde said Eddie's keen to cash Conor out. You see, this is 2023, you know, like the boxers, the boxers don't get the same treatment that they used to get from promoters back in the day. Nobody could cash Conor out. Nobody could cash Kell Brook out. Yeah. For those who don't know, let me tell you, from good sources, Kell Brook was pestering Eddie Hearn for the Golovkin fight. Eddie didn't say, "Look, you need to take this fight," or. No, no. Kell Brook was insistent on taking the fight. He was insistent on taking the fight, and when he did, he instantly regretted it. He said it himself. He said he knew he messed up. Even in the build-up to the fight, he knew that he was somewhere where he knew he shouldn't be. He thought he could win at one stage, and he realized, whoa, what am I doing? Crazy. You can't just cash boxers out. Boxers don't take fights like that. Do you know? Let me tell you how it goes for Matchroom. I don't know if it's the same policy, but for instance, yeah, Luis Ortiz, when he fought Dave Allen, he had an option of fights he could have took. He could have called out Dillian White. Now, whether Dillian accepted it or not is a different, it's a different proposition. But they give you an option of fights. They like two free fights. Who do you want to fight? Luis Ortiz said Dave Allen. He picked Dave Allen. And Dave, payday, took the fight. Kell Brook didn't have to fight Golovkin. He was a world champion. You think Eddie would have stopped him from being a world champion? No. See, here's what people have to understand. If Kell Brook or Eubank did not fight Golovkin, Golovkin was still booked to fight in England, in the UK, on Matchroom. So Eddie was going to get Golovkin in the UK, providing entertainment for Sky Sports, regardless. Kell Brook wanted the fight. He wanted the fight. So like, what is the promoter supposed to do? Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Well, you're a boxer. You're banging the door for the fight because it was a big payday. Kell got at least three mil, 4. Yeah. Salute, big Bruce Gas. Big up, Bruce Gas. Wizards, he says, Ben has beat nobody. Perfect for Tank. Dion Binuli, I think Ben's aggression will play into Tank's hands. I see Tank stopping him. Whew. What, 147? Darren, is Eddie looking to cash Ben out? No. No. Oh, who's complaining about the mic now? What's the matter with the mic now? I tell you what, I'm going to listen back to it once, and if I don't think it's satisfactory, yeah, and anyone complains about it, I'm going to block you and throw you off because I'm not dealing with like Dion Binuli said it was fine. I heard it back on the playback, it sounded okay. Yeah? So, sounds okay. Sounds okay. So, no more bitching about the mic. If it don't sound good, Go piss off somewhere else. Do something else with your time. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with this. We're talking boxing. You know what I mean? I've dropped the link several times. How comes when there's always people who ask for the link, and then when I actually put the link in, nobody flipping takes the link. What is with that? The Fight Doctor. Shout out to big up Tone. Big up Tone. Big up Tone. Big up Tone. Tube Fatty at the time. Brooke with Triple G. Yes, he had Kel lined up for a unification, like you're saying. Yes, Brooke chased the Triple G bag, and the rest is history. There you go. There you go. That's exactly how it went down. That's how it went. The Fight Doctor. Kel was daring to be great and deserves respect. Yeah, he was daring to be great, Fight Doctor, but it was the payday. The payday. It's the payday. If he could have got that fight at welter, if he could have got the purse for Golovkin defending against Jojo Dan, what fight do you think he would have took? He would have took the Jojo Dan fight. 100%. D Nice.
Peace, what's going on, man?
My name is D Nice. Taking out your sucker. You don't know how I did it. Yo, what's up?
You know
What's up, D Nice? Yeah,
what's going on, man?
Yeah,
No, I've been watching your channel for some years now, man.
All right.
First time I seen the link, so I say shit, I jump on.
So what you got for us? What you got for us, D Nice? What you got?
What's the topic right now?
Like, you got to know the top. You got to be hearing what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You got to be warmed up and ready to take heads off, man. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. What we talking? Tank Davis?
Yeah.
Man, Tank is a novelty fighter. Like at this point, I'm convinced that Tank doesn't care about legacy. He doesn't care about belts or anything, like anything of that nature. Maybe that's because Floyd Mayweather or Leonard Ellerbe or somebody that convinced him that none of that really mean nothing. But in my eyes, Tank is a prospect. That's the way I see him. I don't know how everybody else views him, but he's talented. But to be in the game 10 years and you still got questions about your fight game, that just says a lot for him. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
What about how Tank's career is progressing?
Yeah.
Well, if you ask Leonard Ellerbe and Floyd, they'll say perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like, what is he? 20? What was he? 29 and old now? Is he 30 or 30 plus and old now? Like, he's got a great statistical record, a bag full of knockouts. He's bagged one big pay-per-view fight with Ryan Garcia. I respect the business. I respect the way they've crafted the career, but the fact he hasn't fought Devin, the fact he hasn't fought Tio Lomachenko are big red flags. They're big red flags. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know if you ever. Oh no, my bad. Go for it.
No, that's no problem, man. Like, if you'd fought at least two of them names I'm saying, then that resume would be looking good. It would be looking good right now.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I don't know if you was ever aware of the interview he did on one of those podcasts, and they asked him, have you ever asked for these fights? And he told them no, he's never asked to fight any of these dudes. And that right there helped me understand how he's moving, and I can no longer blame Floyd Mayweather and Al Heyman. I clearly see that Tank is running his own show at this point, and he just don't want to fight those dudes. I don't know if it's money related or.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: What do you think of the Tank Davis Conor Ben fight?
That's kind of nonsense. It's only to make Tank look good. You know what I'm saying? So they can put it out to the public. How is he scared to fight Devin Haney? He went up to 147 to fight Conor Ben, and he knocked out a 147 pounder. He's really a 130 pounder. Like I can see the headlines, and for the course that Tank is on, yeah, I mean it's par for the course.
Okay,
But
so I'm going to give it to you, right, before I go over to Ham. Schedule Tank's 2 fights this year that you'd like to see.
well, I'm from a fan standpoint, I would like to see Haney and Lopez. Now, say I'm his promoter and I'm interested in his legacy. I would I would still have Haney in there, but I would also put a poor Gray, a winnable fight, good name, moving up, and the aesthetics of it is right along what Tank does.
All right, all
So
good,
from a
all
from
good.
a promoter standpoint, Haney, a poor Gray. Well, poor Gray, Haney, get Haney last because that's a fight you could lose, but it's also a fight you can win. From a fan standpoint, I want to see Tiafimo and Hank. I would also
I got you.
before poor Gray, I would also reach out for a Lomachenko fight after he gets
Uh,
that belt.
all right, okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. Hi, what's good, bro?
What's going on, man? You can hear me good?
Yeah, man. Tell me now. Walk on, hi. Tell me now. Tell me now.
All right, so listen, we understand everybody got to get their money. We all
Yeah.
understand that. But we just got finished watching the Super Bowl. This is the problem I have with Tank. We just got finished watching the Super Bowl. These guys are getting paid crazy money. Just an NFL player in general is getting paid some real nice money, but whatever. These guys bust their ass every fucking day to hopefully end up playing in the Super Bowl. They want to have a big play in the Super Bowl. They want to go home to their families. They want to come back and do it again and try to do it again the next year. Come back and try to do it again the next year. That's what an NFL player is. Tank is a boxer. He needs to act like a boxer, do things that we expect a boxer to do. That means chase championships, chase legacy and fights, and do what you're supposed to do, man. I'm not gonna keep giving him a pass for this Willy Wonka bullshit. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I respect the sport too much. I respect the Ali's and the Sugar Rays and everybody too much to even give him an audience when you doing this type of foolishness.
All
So
right. Well,
as
okay. I got to line up the questions for you. I've got some
the
right. So your 2 fights for Tank this year first. We'll deal with that.
first, I want the Haney fight, and after that, I don't think he beats the other two fighters that I could name, but the Loma I don't think he beats them, and Shakur Stevenson I don't think he beats them, but you got to fight everybody. That's your job.
Okay. Devin and Shakur.
Yep.
Okay. That'd be very productive. Okay. Here's another question. In 5 years' time, how do you think we'll be talking about Gervonta Tank Davis?
You said in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think he makes it to 5 years. I think he's in 5 years' time. He's basically like he's almost like an Adrian Broner in 5 years' time. He's doing nothing, wasting his time, just wasting everybody's time. And 5 years from now, we gonna look back at him as you were a clown. You know, like even Broner has accomplished more. I don't know, man. I don't see us talking highly about Tank in 5 years. Not the way
Okay.
he's going.
All right. So let's switch from Tank then, and let's get over this side of the business. You heard
Mm,
about the British heavyweight title fight?
yep,
What do you
yep.
think about Fabs against my man, Frey the Clark?
Clark. I think Fabio Wardley knocks him out within 4 rounds. I
Within
think Frazier
four?
within 4. I think Frazier is a terrible fighter. I don't see.
Fraser's an Olympic gold medalist,
I
higher.
don't. I know, but I don't see
Bronze medalist.
bronze medalist. Yeah, but I don't see nothing special about him. He looks a little bit. He looks about 3 seconds faster than Joe Joyce. I don't see nothing special about him at all.
Okay.
I have not been impressed with not one performance from that man.
So you're saying under 4 rounds, like he's a big dude, man. You think you could knock out a big dude like that? Remember,
He's a big, slow dude that has no explosiveness to him. You can see every punch coming. Fabio Wardley go a punch in between his punches and knock him out.
Dude, Fraser sparred with Anthony Joshua for years. Fought the likes of Jalilov. He had Jalilov on the back foot, but the scar tissue from the previous fights.
Maybe it's under the lights, Beats. Maybe it's under the lights. But under the lights, this guy looks like a big lump of nothing. This guy, he doesn't. Maybe it's under the lights. Maybe in the gym, he's one of those guys that perform very well in the gym, and people keep him around because he's good work and good sparring. But when he gets under the lights, this guy looks terrible, man. I haven't seen one good fight. I haven't seen what. Let me ask you this: what's Frazier Clark's #1 punch?
Probably the jab.
Jesus Christ. That's bad, man. That shows that's bad.
Okay, so you don't like his chances in this at all?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. D-Nice, what have you heard about this fight?
No, I'm only familiar with Wardley. The other guy, no, I haven't. I'm not too familiar with him.
So it means nothing to you. It means nothing.
Not for real.
Okay. No problem at all, man. No problem at all.
Like I was telling these real quick. Like I was telling, I think it was Jules the other day. I said if Wardley beats Frazier Clark, he's gonna beat Nathan Gorman, David Adelaide, and Frazier Clark. He's doing better than most of the younger up and coming heavyweights. I said he's doing better than Jared Anderson at that point, even though Jared Anderson beat Charles Martin, which was a former champion. But he's doing better than most of the heavyweights out here. As far as real good, solid wins, he got a better resume right now than really Hrgovic, because the Zilly Zhang fight, that wasn't a real win. So Wardley is doing very well right now, and he's going to beat Frazier Clark. Frazier Clark is stand a chance.
What stands out to you about Fabs?
About Fabio Wardley?
Yeah. What stands out?
Good foot speed, good hand speed, good variation in punches and explosiveness. He got a chin, and he's ferocious. I love Fabio Wardley. He's a UK can stand up on him. He's a legitimate fighter.
Okay, let's go to the comments quickly. Big up Anthony says the fandom around Tank has allowed him to get away with his effort for some time, and I don't see him changing tack to right now. Wizards, he says 2 Ferraris and a booster cushion. Yep. Turkey said, I'll send you 2. He said, I'll send you 2 boxing gloves. About 2. He said, I'll send you 2 boxing gloves.
Yeah, that's the rudest stuff ever, man.
He said Tank is an underachiever, and now we'll be saying the same thing in 5 years' time. Anthony Mack and Fabio washes Fraser. Okay. Tube Vanny at Dio Minuni. He's beaten former champions, which makes him around or above contender level. That's about it for me, says Tube. Okay. HC, he says Yoka was a gold medalist. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Anthony, I don't know what happened to Tony's career.
Jesus.
Man. Yeah, it just went left, man. It just went.
But
left.
Was it him and his wife gold medalists, and both of them done fell off?
I don't know about it still, but yeah. Tony got the dodgy decision over Joyce, didn't he? 2016.
Yeah.
All right, so this one, Haley versus Garcia. It looks like it's signed. It's good to go. Big fight or a bit overhyped? Because what has Ryan really done apart from gather Twitter followers and social media standing? What's he really done?
He
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. And he looked real bad in his last fight. The fight where he was turning his back and all that crazy stuff on the ropes. I don't know what's going on with him.
If it wasn't for his popularity, he wouldn't even be considered in any of these fights.
That's true.
Was he trying to Philly shell in his last fight?
Yeah, but remember he was turning his back all crazy? He was like running away from the guy, remember? Like, this is foolishness,
Right.
man.
You can't do the Philly show, dog. You Mexican, man.
I would like to know what does he rehydrate to? I would like to know what does he rehydrate to from a 140 fight, because Devin Haney coming in at 165. There's no rehydration clause. There's no catch weight on this fight. Is fighting at 140, and Devin Haney's definitely coming in at 165, and he will be able to do what he do for right now.
I think that Garcia probably come in around the same weight. They look
I,
about the same size and stature.
they
Maybe with
do,
Garcia being a little taller.
Listen,
but that's a lot of weight, yo.
Garcia ain't coming in at 165, bro.
Yeah, I don't think so, dog.
What was his last at 40? What was his last walk-in weight?
I don't know, but
I'm not sure either, but
he don't fill out like Devin.
yeah.
I don't see him fill out like Devin at 140.
I don't really think it's gonna matter though.
No, I think it's gonna matter when you as good as Devin with your foot movement and your distance and range and controlling range the way Devin is, and now you can't get in because he's actually starting to hurt you with some weight on his shots. I think it is gonna matter, dog.
Oh, it will
When
matter.
I
It will matter. It will matter.
when
Like
I say it won't matter,
it matters
it's
to
because
progress.
whether see Paul Grace in it wasn't the weight that beat Paul Grace. It was strictly skill, and I think that's gonna be the same with Ryan Garcia. I think if
No.
It was skill.
Weight plays a
The
part.
physical presence as a lot.
I know weight plays a part, but Devin Haney isn't the type of fighter that uses his weight as an advantage.
Yeah, but
He may come in.
What we saying is that you wrong, fam.
sometimes you don't need to be.
Yeah, and I'm just disagreeing with you.
Yeah, we
Here's the
could
thing,
disagree.
right?
There's no problem.
Here's the thing. Sometimes you don't need to be that guy who uses your size. Regis, you could see, was taken back by the size of Devin, and he didn't want to even attempt to try and get physical with Devin.
Exactly.
He was stuck in no man's land.
When you say attempt to get physical, I don't think he was even able to break the threshold to attempt to get physical. But let me just clear up my statement about it not mattering. I think the skill gap is so wide between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney that if Devin Haney came in at 150, I still don't think Ryan Garcia could win if he came in at 165.
Let me say something.
If it was a skill gap, like you're saying, when Devin is at 135, a lot of people tried to come at him and throw hands, right? There's no way you move up to 140 and you make someone like Regis like, okay, let me hold back of Devin. And then remember, Devin scored his first knockdown for how many years? So the 165 rehydration did make a difference to the performance, 100%.
100%.
Now, some people call it weight bullying. I don't call it weight bullying, but
neither do I.
No, I do. I do, but let me just explain.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm not gonna go into all of that. But let me just explain to D Nice to your point. Here's the thing. When you got a fighter that is highly skilled and on point and everything, they could still get touched. They could still get knocked out. They could still get hurt. This is the sport of boxing. We all know this. No matter how big you are, whatever. But now, when the person you're fighting is so hesitant to throw because every time you're crushing them with a jab, you're crushing them with a right hand, that weight plays a big factor. And Prograis couldn't even let his hands go at all because he kept getting hit so much. It is skill set, but with the size, if you're getting hit by your little brother, you're not going to care that you're getting hit by your little brother. You're going to walk up to him and bust him in the head. You can't do that with Devin Haney because he's bigger than you.
Remember,
I totally agree, bro. Like I agree with your synopsis about the weight being a factor.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it won't matter. That factor may be true, but I don't think the weight will matter one iota because I don't think Garcia can compete with Devin Haney on a skill level. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree. I agree with you on that. But let me give you a view. Let me give you a view. Canelo lost every round against Amir Khan. He got completely outboxed and twisted around against Amir Khan. He couldn't beat Amir Khan. Danny Garcia got completely outboxed and twisted around in front of Amir Khan. He couldn't beat Amir Khan, but they big enough to take his punch, walk through, and knock his ass out. That's boxing.
Well,
So now if Amir Khan
like,
is
to be
bigger,
honest, Ham, Khan didn't win every round. He won the early
he did.
rounds, and
He
then
did.
all of a sudden,
I
the
mean,
ring
not
started
officially,
getting
he didn't.
smaller. You're
I mean, not
all of a
officially. I mean,
sudden.
come on.
Sorry, one thing, like if someone's letting go, let them get their thoughts out, and then
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
right, no problem. What happened with Khan is that the circles he was boxing around with Canelo, like Virgil had him well trained, and like the circles weren't big, they weren't wide, they weren't baggy. But as Canelo kept pressing, you see Khan trying to use more and more of the ring, more and more of the ring. And a couple of rounds before that, you could see the end was coming. You know what I mean? But yeah. Canelo used skill as well, but yeah, the size. I mean, he weighed much more. How much more did he weigh than Khan?
Yeah, he weighed a lot more. Even Khan said he picked him up with one arm in the ring. Khan said, "Look at this monster." This is after Khan got knocked out. He said, "Damn, look at Canelo picked me up with one arm." Come on, that's a little bit
See,
different,
I
right?
just don't. I don't think that applies to the Danny Garcia though.
Danny Garcia
I
caught him
don't.
in between his punches, a no look left hook, and
But
he
I
knocked
don't
his
think
ass out.
weight played a part. I don't think weight played a part in that.
No, what I'm saying is the Amir Khan's lack of more weight might have helped him, but Danny Garcia caught his ass, and that's it. Like I told you, if your little brother keep punching you, you hit him one good time, and that's that.
Yeah, I think Khan is just chinny though. It really wouldn't
I
matter
mean, we know,
which weight he was at.
yeah,
But yeah, I understand your point. I
you
understand your point.
understand?
And a perfect example though, from when I mean the weight don't really play much of a factor is Lomachenko and Rigondeaux. Lomachenko was clearly bigger than Rigondeaux, but he didn't use his weight as offense. He didn't lean on him. He didn't pressure him. He didn't. Them was all skills. He just
Yeah,
outclassed. He outclassed Rigondeaux, and I
but
think that's what Haney is going to do.
yeah. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem because the weight plays a factor in that
No.
outclassing. Weight plays a factor in
No,
that
no, no,
outclassing.
no, no,
I
no,
don't think
no.
it does. Not
It
not
Can't agree
does.
with
not
It
that.
not in
does.
not in not in
No.
certain situations. I don't think it
No.
did in that one.
Listen. Loma himself said, I don't consider this a great win because he was too small. He
Yeah.
himself said it. He
Trip.
I
himself said it.
understand what you're saying, but I'm looking at what I watched.
Let's talk
That
about
wasn't
closer skill then.
he
Let's talk
he
about
he
closer
wasn't.
skill.
Yeah, Rigondeaux is a decent fighter. He was decent at his time, but by the time he got to Lomachenko, if I'm not mistaken, was the younger of the two. And in my opinion, he's more skilled than Rigondeaux was.
Can I
That's
get
what I
at you?
seen.
Can I get at you now? Can I get at you?
Oh, do your thing.
Let's talk about two fighters with a closer skill set. Closer skill set, but there's a weight disparity.
Okay.
Triple G Kell Brook. Kell Brook
Okay.
lit his ass up. Kell Brook is nice with his hands. Kell Brook turned him, spun him around, lit his ass up. But the little brother is not going to beat the bigger brother.
And that's valid. That's valid. I'm
You feel what
totally
I'm
there
saying?
with you. I'm totally there with you. But in that instance, that was an extreme weight jump. Whereas you got two guys that campaign in the same weight class or who are about the same weight. That's the difference. Kell Brook was a 47-pounder taking on Triple G.
Yeah, but Kell Brook was bigger than Triple G.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold one sec. Hold your train of thoughts.
Okay.
Hold on. Super chats take priority. Hold your train of thoughts. Big up Anthony Mackin. You know what I mean? He said he watched the Amir Khan documentary with that Canelo fight. Max Kellerman told Khan on the night before the fight it was the first time Canelo refused to do a fight night weigh-in. Make of that what you will. Okay. Hey, listen, look, man. Khan can say all the shit he wants. I knew he was gonna get dust in that fight before one punch was thrown. You know what I mean?
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not saying that weight doesn't matter in all cases. I was only referring to the Haney and Garcia match. I know weight plays a part in many fights. It's just I don't think that the weight will play a part in that fight, considering they'll both be around the same weight. I don't think Devin Haney is that much bigger, will weigh that much more than Ryan Garcia. Because Ryan Garcia is a big. is a big kid also. He's not a small dude.
Yeah, but these guys are
He's
training
tall.
at
He's
this
tall.
weight.
He's tall. He's not a big kid. He's tall.
No,
He's not.
he is tall. But
He's
Devin
tall.
Haney is training at 165, 170 pounds. He's training at that weight. He's mobile, hostile at that
Ryan never
weight.
struggled to make 135. Never.
Come on, man.
And
Tell the truth.
what do you think Ryan Garcia walks around at?
155, 155 the most.
He
I
ain't
don't
gonna
think he does.
rehydrate to 165 though.
I think he's
So
an easy 160 though.
Yeah,
all
but
I
right.
think he definitely walks around at 160.
Devin is a walking around 180.
So he hydrates back to 165.
Yeah, for
And
fight night,
let's
but
say
he
Ryan
walks
Garcia,
around.
I understand, but let's
See
say
what I'm saying?
Garcia hydrates at back to 160. You got a 5 pound difference. It's not that big of a difference.
I think it
All
is a
right.
bigger difference. I think you're not giving it the credit that it deserves. When you
I don't think it does.
train,
I don't think it deserves much.
when you training and doing everything that you do as a boxer, you know boxing training, or everything you doing as a boxer, you doing it at a higher weight. Once you bring it down and you still got that go in you, is a problem for a smaller guy, man. For a guy that's naturally smaller, doing all of that stuff, is a problem, dog. The bigger man
See,
always
I just
beats the smaller man. A good big man always beats a good little man. That's the
I just
saying,
don't
right?
see how you. Yeah, I just don't see how you classify Ryan Garcia as a smaller man like that. From the optics, it doesn't appear that way.
It
I'm
may
just
not,
giving you what I see.
but we hearing
Hey,
about his opponent rehydrating 25 pounds on the night, and we know that that's what he normally trains at. That's a little
no,
dangerous, dog.
no, we don't know that though.
Oh man.
We don't know that. Like, I mean, you can speculate that. We don't know that's what he normally trains at. He
We know
may
that
train higher than that.
we know
You know,
that he trained at high. We know he trained at high because we saw him when Joshua and everybody in Saudi. We saw him. He looked like 180 pounds, man. The guy looked huge, man.
I
You
think we
can't
just
front.
arguing semantics, man. Clearly everybody here don't think Ryan is going to win. I just
Yeah,
don't feel like
yeah,
weight will
yeah.
be. I just don't feel like weight will matter much. That's all.
To be honest, like we can't really. I don't know what he weighs walking around. I'm just assuming that he doesn't rehydrate as big as Devin, but I don't know. Let's move on.
Go
So
ahead.
we got Fa Jagba
Okay.
set to take on Luis King Kong Ortiz.
Mm,
What do you
Oh,
think?
not a
mm.
bad fight.
Not a bad fight. Not a bad fight.
Not a bad fight. Like
Very good fight.
how inactive Ortiz fought in Colombia the other day against someone who's fought as low as 168 and 175. A real like I was gonna say BUM, but a real trial horse journeyman is what he fought in Colombia. They didn't even take a mobile phone and record the fight. Nobody even had an Android to record a fight. What kind of fight is that? And like that's the only action he's had since when? Like when did Andy Ruiz put the hands in? That was around 2022. Let me see. And he's about 60.
Was it Andy last or was it Chris Ariola last? Which one? No, it was Chris.
I thought it was. Wasn't it?
No, he fought in
What's his
Colombia
name?
last.
That's where it was.
It was
I
Andy.
thought it was Martin.
Oh yeah, maybe it was Martin.
Oh yeah,
Martin.
I
Yeah,
forgot that joint.
yeah, it
There.
was
I forgot
Martin. I
that
think it
joint.
was
There.
Martin.
And he knocked Martin silly. So
No, it was the Colombian fight, and then before that, it was Andy Ruiz, and before that, it was Charles Martin. Yeah.
It was Charles
All
Martin.
right.
okay.
So
Okay.
let's look at it this way. Yeah. Since he got ironed out by Deontay or Dante, as I called him in 2019, right? He fought the walkover Flores 1 round, Charles Martin, Andy Ruiz, and then what they say was a fight in Colombia. I mean, 4 fights since 2019. He must be. It says 44 on BoxRec, but we could add a couple on top of that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And
FA's gonna knock this guy out.
He
he
could.
should.
He
He should.
could. No, I can't say he should. I say he could knock
Hold
him
on.
out.
Charles Martin put him down twice, but just couldn't finish the job. FA's gonna knock him out.
Yeah, but this is a very skilled southpaw that knows how to get away from the right hand.
He could
He's
he
good,
couldn't get
man.
away from. All right, Charles Martin was a southpaw. Maybe he had a few issues with the lefty stance, but yo, FA's jab is way more consistent than Charles Martin, orthodox or southpaw. He's gonna line up Ortiz, bro, with some licks.
I think
He should.
he should. I mean, I can't even say he
He's
should, but
gonna beat the
I
crap
think he
out of
should.
him.
If Ajaba is who they're predicting him to be, and on the path that they're shooting him to, he should wipe the floor with Ortiz.
I
nah,
tell you what, if he
nobody
He's a
can't
else can
fresher
beat
fighter.
Ortiz.
if he
He's
can't
a
beat
fresher
Ortiz,
fighter. He's the younger fighter. He's the more active fighter.
Yeah, but he's also the more seen fighter. You see, this is the difference. This is a boxing match. There's two men fighting each other.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz has seen plenty of F.A. Ajabas. F.A. Ajaba has never been in a ring, except with Frank Sanchez. Saw Luis Ortiz. That's the only time he's ever seen a Luis Ortiz in his life. So you got to be
The only
careful.
difference, right? Only difference is Ortiz has never seen these Ajabas at his age.
True.
He's only getting older.
You make a good point. You make a good point.
I tell you what, if he can't beat Ortiz, Bob's got no use for him, man.
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. He's getting sent back to Lagos, bro.
I don't know if Ajaba beats Ajit Kabayel right now. I don't know if Ajaba beats him.
Unofficially told. One sec. Unofficially told, Luis Ortiz is the same age as Joe Louis.
Damn. Damn. You think Barrosos and Ortiz about the same age?
Yeah.
That Latin living is tough out there, isn't it, boy? I mean, it's tough. And they
like life been taking a look at him.
What they saying is F.A. Jagba, Jared Anderson is headlining. But who's he fighting? They haven't even, he's went off the boil since that Charles Martin fight. Bob said that this was supposed to be the year. This was the year he's supposed to be breaking into the top 10. They relegated him back to Rudenko after the Charles Martin fight.
Well, do you remember the statement that Anderson made about boxing in general? He said he didn't really like it.
Yeah.
He didn't really like boxing. He was only in it for the money. He didn't care about belts, and he wasn't chasing legacy.
I don't know how you could say stuff like that when he's in that gym. I don't know how he's talking like that when he's in that gym. That's ridiculous.
his actions kind of
back it up. I know.
Yeah. It's like, crazy. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. And he's talented, but I think that Charles Martin fight went a little bit of answered a few questions. Like he's not as polished as everyone made him out to be. And that talk about throwing him in there with Tyson Fury at that time, after that Charles Martin fight, all of that seemed like it was rubbish.
Yeah, no, these guys got to grow. They got to grow. He switch hitting. He could do this. He could bounce on his feet. He could do all of that stuff. Man, that stuff, this is the heavyweight division. You could get hurt here, man. That's why I say you can't really always think, oh, somebody's going to just completely annihilate the other person, because this is the heavyweight division. You can get caught with something. I could even be wrong about Fabio Wardley and Frazier Clark. I could be. I don't think I am, but this is the heavyweight division. This is not a game. This ain't like every other division. This is not like the sport of boxing. This is not the sport of boxing. This is a whole separate sport. I've been saying that for years. I think it's three sports in the sport of boxing.
Oh, excuse me. At Anderson's age, if this had been the mid 80s, early 90s, he'd be fighting 4 or 5 times a year at his stage in his career. Here you go, you got what amounts to a prospect fighting once a year.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's why we will never get the all-time greats and all of the Hall of Famers that yesteryear delivered, because they just don't fight enough.
It's the truth. You're not hearing no complaint from me.
When when Sugar Ray lost to Roberto Duran, he was back in the ring 4 months later.
Exactly.
And
Oscar
they've
De La
got
Nowadays,
Hoya.
these guys lose, and you don't see the motherfuckers no more.
Yeah.
yeah, and they've got Frank
Anybody seen
Sanchez.
Jamel Charlo?
Sorry, I want to flip it round. We've got Frank Sanchez versus Caballero.
Oh, that's the fight I was looking for. That's going to be an interesting fight. I like that. I don't
I
know
think
who.
Sanchez gonna outbox him.
What's that?
Magic
Say that again.
Caballero is good.
I think Sanchez gonna outbox him.
Outbox Caballero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Sanchez. You call me biased, but I like Sanchez.
I think Caballero is a little special, though. I ain't going to front. What he did to Arslanbek Makhmudov, or I don't know, I'm probably messing up his last name. But
He ain't gonna outbox Caballero. He's gonna have to try and knock him out.
I think so too. Because Caballero is good, man. Caballero is good. That's going to be a real test.
See, I think Sanchez got the ability to make it one of those boring fights if need be. Pop, keep it moving, out point.
He has to look for a knockout. That's a good
We
matchup.
shall see.
That's a good matchup.
That's a real good fight.
He can't rely on just trying to outbox this guy here. You know what I mean? He'll end up losing a points decision, man. You need to get up on Caballero. You know what I mean? You need to get up on Caballero.
You think Sanchez got the power to knock him out?
This is heavyweight. I mean, everybody got power. But what card is that on? What card is that on?
It might be.
Is that Fury Usyk?
It could be on either Fury. Is it on AJ Ngannou or Fury Usyk? I think that one goes to the Middle East. You know, now you say it, yeah.
I think that's definitely in Saudi. I just don't know what card is on.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I just came across it the other day. Afro Jam said they're both movers. Yeah, but yeah. I think Caballero's got the better legs though.
Yeah, because Frank Sanchez is older.
Frankie might have more power. He might have more power. Good fight though. Good fight. Anyone interested in Hitchens versus Lemos? That's for the vacant. What? All right. Devin got the WBC. Matthias got the IBF. Is this WBA?
I think it is a WBA.
Okay.
No.
Well, this is an eliminator. It's an eliminator for one. Yeah, it's an eliminator. Yeah.
It's pretty easy fight.
Is it WBA or WBO?
I'm not too sure now. You know, now you say that. You think it's going to be an easy fight, yeah? D-Nice.
Relatively, as far as skills are concerned. My only hang up with Hitchens is just adding a little more pizzazz to your game to make people want to watch you more. Like, he's technically sound. He has the fundamentals down. It's just stepping on that gas when you need to. Like, I think if he can add that wow factor to his game, man, he can be one of these players in this sport right now.
Same could be said for Devin Haney, though.
True, and
you know,
I think he showed it. I think he showed a little more oomph with that poor race.
I don't know. He need a knockout, man. He ain't got a knockout. He don't got nothing spectacular since the Moran fight. That's the last time Devin Haney knocked out somebody and it looked like spectacular was the Moran. I think it was Anthony Moran or Andrew Moran or something.
That was the boy he hit with that hook.
Yeah, when he hit him with the hook, but the guy was on the ropes. They hit him with the hook and it dropped him. That was the last time he did anything spectacular in the ring, as far as knockouts and stuff.
Yeah, like them guys got to understand, man. It's a sport, it's a business, but it's also entertainment. And I think Shakur Stevenson is failing to realize this because he's thinking at this point, I can just win. But if you're not entertaining, the wins don't really add up to much if don't nobody want to see you.
Yeah, but they're giving Shakur a little bit of a hard time. He had one bad fight. He still won the fight, He had one bad
No,
fight, man. Come on,
no,
Jesus
the
Christ.
Nakatia fight wasn't good neither.
I mean, but you coming up and the guy's doing amazing. He destroyed Jamel Herring. He destroyed Oscar Valdez. He,
I
he,
agree.
he he's done
I agree.
amazing. The guy shows a real good skill set. I
He
like
does.
Shakur Stevenson. I don't know why people talking bad about him, man.
I think
Well, the
when you
last
put that
fight,
hype on yourself,
they didn't like the last performance, man. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't like
what
the
have you
last
done for me
performance,
lately?
Against Edwin, he didn't look
but
good
his
against
hype was all
Edwin
beyond
dos
him.
Santos.
Look
What
how
is
they
it?
treated Boots after the Karen Chukasian fight. They was
Boots is
telling
a
Boots to pump your brakes, buddy. We just seen what you couldn't do with a B class, possibly C class fighter. But all it takes is for your next fight for you to look spectacular. And now everybody want Boots to fight Crawford again.
Yeah, but Boots has some flaws that he need to work on. He
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 does.
yeah, he's too caught up in the flashy fly guy shit.
Hmm.
And Sergey Lipinets, I think, but Sergey Lipinets that he fought, right? That
Yep.
started catching him out of nowhere. Sergey Lipinets wasn't supposed to be catching him like that. You can't be in there with no Crawford or even a Cal Brook. They'll catch you like that. It's gonna be a problem. So Boots, his story ain't told just yet. He got a
Hmm.
little bit of work to do.
The
Okay.
Chukasian fight showed me that. He
Mm-hmm.
had trouble cutting off the ring. Movement gave him problems. And everybody want to say that Chukasian was running. And
Mm-hmm.
if Chukasian wasn't running, he was moving around that ring. Now, at times, he did get his spread off.
All right. So they're saying that Boots has taken a decisive step outside the ring by filing a lawsuit against his promoter, which I believe is Cameron Duncan. The legal action initiated on February the 7th in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania centers on allegations of breach of contracts. Like Stephen Espinoza, he replied and said, Boots fought 3 times in 2020 despite the pandemic. Forgot how to read.
Oops, my
2
bad,
fights in
fella. I got cut off
2021.
there a minute. Oops, excuse me, B. I gotta run, fellas, man. It's been good chatting with y'all, man. Salute to chat.
All right, no problem.
Respect,
Yeah,
brother.
so he's fought 3 times in 2020 despite the pandemic, 2 fights in 2021, 1 fight in 2022 with 1 fight falling out, 2 fights in 2023 with 2 fights falling out, 8 fights in less than 4 years despite a pandemic. Under what math does that constitute fighting once a year? So he's responding to the lawsuit and the job that Showtime did. See, here's where I think Stephen Espinoza is going wrong. It's not so much the quantity, it's the quality of fights they've managed to get for Boots is probably as much a problem as the inactivity. What do you
Yeah.
think about the lawsuit?
Uh, um, I don't know the details of the lawsuit, but one thing I would say is Stephen Espinoza needs to learn how to shut up and stay in his place. You are a Showtime executive. You're not a promoter. You're not like in the boxing camps. You're not any of that. You like stop speaking on things that's not none of your business. To be perfectly honest, you couldn't get him the big fights. We all know why, because he's a very good fighter, and let's just keep it at that. So you try to keep him as active as possible, and that's what it is. I think him opening his mouth is damn near warrants the lawsuit. Just shut up, man. The weasel.
Everyone's had enough of that guy. Everyone's had
Yeah,
enough.
he's like, come on, man.
We thought he was gone.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
was hoping he was going. We were hoping.
he's still there, man.
He's been laid off and still sending emails at the company the company email. Come on, man. Get out of here, Espinoza. I don't know what he's going to do with the rest of his career. But I hope Boots does something. I hope he gets a fight with somebody that's worth something, that's a real challenge. But it's not really many at 150, at 147.
There should be some decent tests out there, surely.
I think he can't make the weight much longer. He is growing, damn near. How old is he?
Boots is
27?
about 27 or so.
Yeah, you can't be walking around at 147 pounds at that frame, the size of him. I know it got to be hard for him to make that weight.
Okay, so let's see who he could fight. Cody Crowley, you like that fight?
No, Boots.
I'd prefer him to fight the guy who messed up Rocha.
Oh,
Santillan,
yeah,
Giovanni. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. That'd be a good
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
That'd
You
be a
got to
good
put him in
fight.
some. You got to put him in there with somebody that's going to make it exciting and make everybody talk about him. Because Boots is very talented. I'm not going to lie. I give him a hard time, but the guy is talented. I got to give him his respect on that. He does work hard in the gym and everything, but I think he's also sparring too hard for too many years. I see his eyes starting to wander in certain interviews, and I don't like that. He's going a little too crazy with the with the Dylan White sparring. I
Yeah,
never.
well,
I don't think that's a great.
that's how they do in Philly with the
Yeah,
sparring. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's what they do. That's what they do.
Go hard or go home in Philly, bro.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
know how
Anthony
it is.
Mackin. Yeah, Anthony Mackin with another super chat. Appreciate it. He said, "What do you think about Dubois calling out Hrgovic?" Okay, what do you think about that?
I love that. I love that. I was so happy. I criticize a lot of the UK fighters because I don't see much aggression in the UK fighters. I was really pleased to see Daniel Dubois step up and call out Hrgovic because I think Hrgovic is kind of hiding in plain sight on the low. So I was happy to see somebody really jump in his shit and say, "Hey, I don't hear my name. You calling out everybody else. You walk around like you a boogeyman, but I don't hear my name." I like that. That's how it's supposed to be. I respect Daniel Dubois for that. That's what it's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
I liked it. I liked it. I liked it. I liked
Yeah, I
it.
like it. I like him.
Yeah, D. Obinuli, he says Boots is going to Matchroom. Yeah, that seems like the likely destination right now. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's a
mean?
logical move.
Yeah. He's not going to go over to Amazon Prime for the PBC. There's just no way.
No,
No way.
no,
Because
it's
Stephen
nothing there
Espinoza
for
is,
him.
yeah, the likes of Espinoza is still kind of sniffing around that environment for some reason. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's got a role over there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, it looks like Matchroom. Looks like Matchroom.
it's
And they
good.
got see 140 is where Matchroom is strong. I don't know if they've got much work for Boots at 147, but we'll see. They'll get some fights for him. They'll get some
At,
fights.
at 154, if Boots move up to 154, which is nothing for him, they got some more fights for him. I think they could get more fights for him. They got their UK connections, and they could make some money. And I think they could do a lot for him at better than anybody else can. Really, right? Who
Yeah,
top rank got?
can't really think of anyone right now. Afro Jam says Conor Ben is garbage. Take that back. Nah, he's not garbage. I think he's just a little rusty. I don't think he's garbage.
I just don't think he's what they talk about him like he's damn near a Crawford, and he ain't nowhere near.
No, you shouldn't even be forming a sentence with
Yeah,
T and C in it. I mean,
yeah,
you
come
shouldn't be
on.
doing that.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
do
not
that,
like
Connor. Don't do that. I can
that's
defend you if you
bad.
do that. Yeah, don't do that. Tube Fatty, he likes Dubois versus Segovic. Yeah, I like the fight. I quite like it. I like the call out. You know what I mean? VA Money, he says Dubois is cheeks, to be honest.
Ooh.
Woo! I don't know about that. I think he showed a little something in the last fight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I think he
Showed a
got a
little
new
something.
lease on life. He got a new lease on life, and he handling his business. But everybody falls, and hopefully you get up. And it's the way you get up. I think the way he got up is good. I'm a respect Daniel Dubois and give him as much respect as I can. Give him his props, man.
The good thing for Daniel is that he took his falls when he was young, so he's not
Hmm.
jaded. He's not in his 30s. You see Wilder losing to
Parker.
Parker in his 30s now. He's
Hmm.
probably realizing that. But I see him doing some training in the WBC of restating and stating him in the rankings a
Hmm.
little higher, saying it was a mistake. But it's a long road back for Wilder at the age he is now. But Daniel, he's just approaching that prime now. You know what I mean? He's approaching that
Yeah.
prime, and he's had harder fights than Wilder did at a similar stage of fights that Wilder had.
But he's taking less damage than Wilder. Daniel Dubois got hit with a right hand from Usyk that we could have got hit with and we wouldn't have went down on. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't taken the damage, like the real damage. He ain't been in Fury Wars and Luis Ortiz, the 7th round of the first fight. He ain't been through that kind of craziness yet. So let him live right now, man. God damn, let him live.
Guzzy is saying, do you think Aaron will make him an offer? Well, I haven't heard nothing. I know his dad's been talking to Matt from. That's who they've been talking to.
Who, Daniel?
No, with Boots. Guzzy saying.
Oh, with Boots. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boozy is talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
You really thought Frazier Clark had a chance with Wardley?
No, I was just asking a question. I think Fabio's going to win, man. But I think he'll like he's strong. He's strong and like he's going to be. I mean, like I think it's going to be a stiffer fight than a lot of people think. But I think Fabio will win it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I don't think you blame out in 4 though, like you're saying.
Yeah, okay. What do you think? What do you think it go? You think it go 8, 9?
It's going to go late. Yeah, it's going to go late. It's going to go
That's
late.
a lot of punches to be taken to your head, man.
Well,
he's slow as molasses.
We'll see. We'll see.
I just think that's a lot of punches going to your head. And from a 240-pound man that's built at 240. He's not a guy that was 225 and worked out and came up to 240. No, this guy walk around 240, maybe 250. This is a big boy. Frazier Clark is a big boy too. But Fabio is explosive and, an athlete, a real athlete hitting you at 242 pounds, hitting you in the side of your temple. I don't know, man.
Well, Fraze better bring it, man.
He better bring something.
He better bring it, man.
How much does Fraze weigh?
Fraze is a big lad, but he's around between 260, 270 maybe. I think, yeah. Some big weights,
Damn.
He's a big dude, man. It's about the same height as Joshua. He's big. He's a unit, isn't he? He's a unit, as we say.
He's a unit, but he ain't fast and put his hands together like Joshua, explosive like Joshua. And even Joshua ain't that big. Even Joshua ain't that big. Joshua trying to stay around 245, 250. Yeah. He could hurt people and move fast on you. Frazier Clark is like, I'm telling you, he's like Joe Joyce. I think that's a painful fight.
So you've got it under 4 rounds.
Mm-hmm. I think it goes quick because Wardley gonna be fearful of this big guy when all of this Olympic pedigree, all of that. Wardley gonna be sniper shooting him. He gonna be hitting him with crazy stuff out of nowhere, and sooner or later, Clark is gonna fuck up, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna be over.
Okay. Anthony Mackinson, the Govich said a few years ago that he slapped up Daniel in sparring in London, and they canceled the sparring for the rest of the week. Yeah, I remember that. But that's probably why Daniel wants some get back, isn't it? Daniel wants some get back.
And how old was Daniel? 20 years old, 21 years old?
Yeah, he was very young. Young.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play that game. You're dealing with grown men now. Stand in front of them now and let's see. When he got his confidence and stuff,
Tone thinks Govich will look for more easier touches until he gets his shot. Well, he can't get much more easier than his last fight. Mark DeMore, come on, man. That's like flipping. Like, he was taking the piss. He really took the piss with the last fight. Mark DeMore.
Oh, my God.
They shouldn't even listen. Like, some commission shouldn't allow that fight. There's no way that you are, a leading contender, mandated for belts and shit, and you fight Mark DeMore. Who let that one pass?
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
I mean, that's near as that's near a crazy one, like the guy from the UK is schizophrenic who managed to travel all the way from England, from London to New York, right? By just walking behind someone and got into New York but got sent back. You know what I mean? He breached a lot of security to do that, and like that's similar to what Govich did, getting away with that there. You took flipping liberties.
But what does that tell you? Like everybody on the card is getting paid big money, and they're fighting somebody that they wouldn't normally step out there and fight. Wilder, Parker, they wouldn't normally step out there and fight these guys. Everybody on the card is fighting somebody that makes them a little uncomfortable. And you go and get Mark DeMori? What does that tell me about where you think you are? Let's be honest.
Yeah, you got to be really not confident to take on Mark DeMori.
Yeah, Mark
You've got to be
DeMori?
really not confident.
Come on, that don't make no sense.
Guzzy said Fraser's banking on his amateur experience he got in an interview with Tunde and Spencer. Okay, he's got an interview with them. Yeah, he is. He's banking on something kicking in. Like, yeah, remember I was a top amateur, so that's got to kick in. It better, for his sakes, it better do. It better do.
All I gotta say to him is, "Welcome to the pros." It's not a game.
Yeah, they're not impressed with. There's
The
one
amateur
person, I think.
foolishness.
Yeah, LaFez says Fraser Clark is ass. Anthony Mack and Fabio will end his career. I think we got sports fan. He says he disagrees. He thinks Clark is likely to address Wardley. That's interesting. There's a huge skill and IQ gap in his opinion. Okay.
What?
Daniel Cole says Fraser will likely be stopped on cuts. Yeah, he's got all that scar tissue as well, which hasn't really opened up in the pros. But he was getting done like a tin up in the Olympics, bro. I mean, I see Fraser bleeding out. He's just bleeding out, bro. I mean, yeah.
He got a lot of scar tissue. He's like, is he as bad as Sean Porter? Sean Porter got a lot of scar tissue, man. You be surprised. Man.
He's got a bit. He's got quite a bit. Daniel Cole, Hrgovic is a rabbit punching hype job. Yeah, even against Mark DeMori, he was flipping rabbit punching. I'm like, dude, you can't even do a clean job on this guy. You have to rabbit punch this guy. Come on, man.
I hate to say this because I've lost my pops. I'm pretty sure other people have lost their father, but I think
I've lost mine.
I know you lost yours. That's personal. That shit is heart wrenching. But I think Hrgovic, I think that was his downfall overall. I think he's not the same no more. I hate to say that, but damn, man. After that, he looked bad in the Zilly Zhang fight, man. He looked real bad in the Zilly Zhang fight.
He didn't look too clever.
Remember he was walking away out of nowhere, walking away from the fight. He was turning his back and walking away from Zilly Zhang in the fight. Remember?
Well, Zhang shocked him, isn't it? He surprised him.
Yeah.
That's what it was. He thought it was going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, like I don't know why you thought that with the size of this man, and he a southpaw in front of you, and he got an amateur background, and he was an Olympian and all of that, wasn't he? Zilly Zhang? I don't know.
Yes, he lost. Yeah, AJ beat him in 2012 in London. Yeah, he lost to AJ. AJ decked him and outpointed him. Yeah. Hrgovic looks lazy. Yes, he does. He looks very like against Dempsey McKean. He done a whole load of them rabbit. He managed to get away with it. You know what I mean? Like I don't see how this version of Hrgovic beats AJ if they get around to fighting for that vacant strap. I don't see how he beats him. I don't see it. All right. Hey, listen, it's been a good life, bro. It's been a good life. Like, we got Canelo. He might be suing the PBC because they can't reach them guarantees. I mean, what if I try and get Canelo for the back end money? Back end money. Yeah. Canelo said, no, where's my guarantee? You know what I mean? And Shakur turned down a $15 million deal with Top Rank, apparently. Although there hasn't been much follow-up in terms of news on that. Wasn't Canelo was supposed to make a statement? Let me see if I can find it. What happened to that? What happened to Canelo's statement? Canelo. Career announcement. Oh! Oh, no, I thought it was okay. They're speculating that he's going to cut ties with the PBC. Okay.
Floyd gonna be upset because they were sure try to put Javante in there when some fake ass, no, not a real fight. So that the Amazon premiere wouldn't have been big. So they need a Canelo to bring it home. And now if Canelo cut ties, Floyd and whatchamacallit, Heyman, they fucked. Next thing you know, Floyd Mayweather be coming out of retirement.
Right now, Canelo's pledge not to fight Mexican challengers is being tested because the Mexican contingency, they want the Jaime Munguia fight even more than the David Benavidez fight. And like if he does go back over the zone, that's the only fight there for him. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? You gonna beat John Ryder up again? He's retired. You can't beat Cannon. He just took him battering at 175. There's nothing there. I mean,
I never thought he should have made that statement. He should have never made that statement. I think that's bad. That was a bad decision by Canelo to make that statement. The Mexican fan base is maybe the largest fan base in the entire sport. How could you just turn all those people away? That don't make sense. It wasn't a smart move, and they're your people. That don't make sense.
Okay, Toby Bartlett, thank you for that. He said that the statement is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, a lot of lawsuits flying around the American boxing landscape, man. A lot of lawsuits. Boots. You know what I mean? Canelo probably putting one on Al Heyman's doorstep. You know what I mean? Damn. So it looks like he could be heading out of the PBC.
American boxing need to wake back up, man. We done messed up bad over here. It's really bad. And the beginning of it was Wilder and was Bermain Stavern and Wilder. That was the very beginning of the decline of American boxing.
Okay,
that's how I see it.
Why would you say that then? Like with that,
because the first fight was just a regular straight up fight. Okay, it was what it was. Vitaly retired. Stavern fought Areola. He got the title, and now he fought Wilder. Wilder beat him. Okay, great. Now Wilder goes on to do something. They brought Stavern back for a rematch after he did nothing to deserve the rematch, and that's where it showed the gimmicks, the garbage. They needed to be American boxing, real tough guy stuff, and they showed up with foolishness. And now everybody else started to rise. Anthony Joshua started coming up. Fury was messing around. Everybody else started to wake up and come around. The Eastern Europeans start coming back with the Golovkin and everything. The world of boxing woke up while American boxing started to fall asleep. That's the problem. And heavyweights lead the way. The heavyweights lead the way in the sport. So Wilder, I've been upset with Wilder. I've been disgusted with Wilder.
Oh, the Stavern rematch was the what? But then again, like in saying that, they mandated him. The WBC mandated the guy, man.
I know, but that's a part of American boxing. The WBC and they garbage. They really are. The WBC is really an American, even though they're placed in Mexico, we know where they come from, but they're really an American organization because they got their fame from Ali carrying their belt. That's how they became big. It was because of Ali championing their belt. So they really are American based in that regard. So they still with the foolishness, man.
Well, how they became big was like the British Boxing Board of Control was probably
complicit,
like very influential. Yeah, they helped build them up because the British Boxing Board of Control, they didn't recognize the WBA through the whole of the 60s, through most of the 70s. They didn't recognize them. You couldn't fight for a WBA belt in Britain.
Yep.
In that time period. You know what I mean? And they've just went from worse to worse, the WBC. Like, so who did Stavern fight in that time period? He fought Derek Rossi, right?
Yeah.
Another fight, like, I don't think you can even get video of it. They didn't even take an Android phone there. He got dropped in that fight against Derek Rossi. I think that was the one fight he had from the first Wilder fight. And he
I
got
thought it
another
was only
title
the
shot.
Derek Rossi. I thought it was only the Derek Rossi fight. That was it, right?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, this is what I'm
And
saying. That's insane, yo.
and he came in a lot heavier in the rematch than he did in the first fight. And his performance in the rematch was absolutely pathetic.
It was terrible. The only thing that made it look anywhere near decent was because Wilder was so more athletic and Wilder did a spectacular knockout. So it kind of made it look like entertaining. But as boxing fans, we know this is BS. We just saw you fighting a legitimate cab driver. He's like the Haitian cab driver with the dreadlocks at that point. It's the truth. Like, it's bad.
PVC gimmicks, man. PVC gimmicks. I see the gimmicks, the whack lyrics. The shit is depressing.
That's
Oh
how I
dear.
knew that. That's how I knew that Joe Joyce was garbage, because after that fight, Bermain Stavern fought Joe Joyce and he buckled him to the body. Remember that?
Hey, Jermaine was lighting up joints.
Remember that? Yo,
He was lighting joints up.
yeah, he was
He
King.
was. Right. Yeah, he took a few punches before he got Jermaine out of it. Berman. I'm calling him Jermaine. Oh dear. Yeah. Man. Anthony Mackin, WBC mandating Stavern was disgraceful. 2 years sitting on his couch and getting a title shot. Absolute disgrace. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, Wilder's resume is so flipping sketchy. Oh, Tube Fatty, he says, I think the PBC have got a huge cash flow problem. They cannot afford to lose Davis. They can't afford to pay Canelo, and they're feeding Thurman to Zoo. Appreciate the super chat. Yes. Well, you know why that is, yeah? Like, Amazon Prime are not giving them a budget. They've got to pay all the fighters, do all the production. That's why you got that bootleg press conference with Thurman and Zoo. All Amazon are doing are broadcasting. They ain't gonna know Wonderland Reed, hedge fund, not dead, no Showtime money. It's hard times. It's hard times out there. It's hard times. You know what I mean? Very hard times. Maybe they might get a cash injection and they'll be able to sturdy the ship up. You know what I mean? The festive Stavern looks like Christmas pudding, you know. Oh dear. Christmas pudding. Daniel is asking, Michael Benson asking, what's the most dominant performance from a fighter? That's a hard one to answer, isn't it? Dr. Wu, what's up? He says, do you think Heyman is overrated as a promoter? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Grant, what's up, Grant? He says, big up team. Listening to you guys while at work here in Australia. What time is it over there in Oz, man, right now? What time is it? Big up Australia. Yeah, man. I know a few people listening to the stream are doing a little shift. You know what I mean? Hold your head up. Do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? It's all good. Yeah. He was struggling hard with Dempsey McKean, Anthony Mackin, Hagovic. Struggling hard. He was struggling hard. He looked horrible against he found the finishing punches. I'll give him credit for that. But Dempsey was in that fight. Okay, it's 9:49 a.m. 10 minutes to 10. Okay, yeah, early one, bro. Early one. Wow, I didn't realize there was such a time difference. So that's 10, 11. We got an 11-hour time difference between the UK and Australia. It's like that, yo. That's deep. No, it's 13 hours, isn't it? Is it a 13-hour gap? I didn't realize it was that long. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a 13-hour gap, you know. 13-hour gap. Afro Jam said it depends. Yeah, Australia's a massive country. It depends what part of Australia. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that big a gap, though, man. Grant says, yeah, big time difference. We watch UK fights on our Sunday morning. Wow, and American fights in the afternoon. Anthony Mack in 10 hours, depending upon when we set our clocks. Okay. Big up, big up, big up. Guzzy says 24-hour plane journey as well. Wow. Yeah, tell you what, man, when them fighters have to make that commute to Australia, they don't normally do well. That's what I'm telling you, right? Lomachenko better get climatized properly. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, I've been telling everyone, don't be surprised if Kambosos roughs up Lomachenko, right? Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. You might get that Jeff Horn, Manny Pacquiao treatment. Big up Gerard. He says, big up Beats. I've said for a while that Hrgovic is a DQ waiting to happen with his rabbit punching. Surprised it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, he can get a little. I mean, he rabbit punching against Mark Demore was like, no, I wasn't impressed with that. I wasn't impressed at all. You know what I mean? I wasn't impressed one little bit. Clifton, what's up? He said, yo, Beats. Can Craig Richards get in the Matchroom versus Queensbury matches against Yard? Well, everybody's talking about Yard versus Boatsi. But if Frank wants to put out the strongest 5 against Eddie's 5, he might have to use Yard against Craig Richards. Because that's who, if it comes up to Yard taking on a Matchroom light heavyweight, Eddie's putting Craig Richards out there. He said that already. So Clifton, to your question, Eddie's putting Craig out there, not Callum. Callum just coming off a beating. He needs to recoup. He's putting Craig out there, bro. I would love, to be honest, I'd love to see Craig and Anthony Yard in the 5 versus 5. I'd love to see that. I haven't made my 5 yet, but I think like at light heavy, Craig versus Anthony is a very good fight. Very good fight. Very, very good fight. Yeah. And the longer it goes, the more Craig will warm into it. If he's not blown out early, the longer it goes, the more Craig will warm into that fight. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Anthony said his little brother moved out there recently with his Brazilian gal to live and work. Okay. It's all good. Sounds exciting, man. Sounds exciting. Toby says, I saw an interview with Leonard Ellaby and he looked shook about something. He wasn't his confident self. He didn't seem okay. Yeah. Hey, listen, trouble looks like he's brewing over there. That's what he looks like right now. That's what he looks like. Dr. Woo Doc, big up. He says, speaking about work, Leonard Ellaby is still in employment. Maybe. Tone, appreciate the super chat, man. Big up, Tone. Thank you for the likes and the super chats, everybody. Much appreciated. Anthony Mackin, I think that Kambosos wins, in my humble opinion. Okay, you've got Kambosos for the upset. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Hey, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. I'm picking Loma, but hey, it's not easy to win over there, bro. It's not easy. It's not easy. I don't know what it is. It's not easy to go over there, bro. It's not like the air seems to change on the fighters that go over there. It just seems difficult. Seems very difficult. I remember when they adopted Joe Bugner. I think that who they sent out there, Bone Crusher, James Tillison, he beat all of them. Yeah, it's all good. Right. I need to get some. If I'm going to stick around, which I might do for a few minutes, I need to get some water. So give me 2 seconds. All right. I got my bottle of Lidl's finest Carrot Glen Spring. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Tube, he says, Yard versus Richards is a very good fight. I need to think hard about who wins. Richards has a chin, IQ, and power. He showed the power on Saturday, yeah, against Boris. That left hook was a powerful shot, right? He hit hard, man. Put Boris down. Like, Lyndon had to wait until Boris was wearing down in the 12th to get him down. I'm telling you, right? Don't be shocked if Craig Richards was to beat Anthony Yard. Don't like. I wouldn't be shocked. I know Boatsy beat Craig, but that was a tough fight. That was a tough fight. It was life and death. Yeah, man. Anthony says fighting in Australia is like playing football in the Azteca at altitude. Yeah, yeah, it's tough over there, bro. Is it the what is it? Is it the climate? Jewel, he says Crichton ain't an easy guy to stop. No, it's not easy to stop Crichton. Crichton's tough. You can see he's well developed. He's got a bit of a tricky style. You know what I mean? Although he made trouble for himself by trying to knock out Craig with one shot. He made trouble for himself. You know what I mean? He made trouble for himself. I don't know if there's much more stories right now, people. If there was, you know what I mean, I'd hang around a bit more. I don't know if there's much more stories. What else is going on? Oh, yeah. Remember that Curiel when he knocked out the South African guy? Non-Shinga? That was flipping serious, bro. Big shocker, you know. South African guy, what was it? IBF light flyweight champion on a Matchroom card. He blew it like, listen, flipping hell. I'm surprised this guy's coming. Non-Shinga's coming back on such a quick turnaround from that knockout. I don't know, bro. I don't know. There has to be some carryover. I mean, it was a serious knockout defeat, bro. He cleaned his clock. I don't know. I don't know about that. What else we got? Anthony said, I think it's the climate and just the fact that it's hard, it's so far to travel there. Yes, I think it's the jet, it's got to be the jet lag. Got to be the jet lag, man. From the, you know, because like 11 hour. I didn't realize it was an 11 hour gap, or is it 12 hour gap from where Grant is? Yeah, depending on which state or city. Brisbane, Queensland is very hot and humid. That's where Pacquiao versus Horn was. Ah, they done Manny like a kipper. They set him in. Although the Philippines is pretty hot, so Manny's used to heat, isn't it? Manny's used to heat. Remember the Thriller in Manila? It couldn't have been hotter than the Thriller in Manila. And that was Philippines. I mean, the referee fell apart, didn't he, in the Thriller in Manila? You know what I mean? They said that like that arena was desperately hot, man. The Thriller in Manila arena. Let me see that. Go a little old school. See what research. See what research we can do on the heat. The referee got replaced, man. The fight in the tropic was staged in the daytime to suit U.S. television audiences. I mean, well, that was clever, wasn't it? But the crowd and TV lights overwhelmed the air conditioning at 125 degrees. We were fighting each other as well against the heat, Fraser said in the 2008 Thriller in Manila documentary. Wow. That was crazy, man. 125 degrees. That was crazy. Wow. In excess of 90 degrees in Manila. It's quite simply one of the most epic heavyweight title fights in history. And almost 45 years ago, Muhammad Ali defeated Joe Frazier in their third fight with arguably the most famous nickname in boxing lore, the Thriller in Manila. The date was October the 1st, 1975, and Ali was off his stunning 8-round KO the previous October of the seemingly invincible George Foreman to recapture the heavyweight title. Frazier had been humbled and knocked out easily by Foreman in his previous fight and was now attempting to regain the championship at the expense of his arch rival from earlier in their career. Frazier had beaten Ali in the first clash in the MSG. Yeah, we know all that. We know all that. Okay. So Don King. Don King had been touring the heavyweight title fights all over the globe, and when Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos ponied up in excess of $4 million to pay the two fighters, the Philippines landed the fight. See, the thing is, yeah, no disrespect, yeah, but there's a high percentage of people in the Philippines who live in absolute poverty. How do you dredge up all that money for pure boxers? For pure boxers, you know. I mean, hey, there's some sufferation over there, bro. That's crazy. But you know, like, remember Imelda Marcos and her shoe obsession? You know what I mean? Corruption, innit? Corruption. The Philippines landed the fight. King also made a massive amount of money of the international closed circuit television deals all over the world. It's all good. The fight was held at the Philippine Coliseum, which seated 27,000 people in an indoor facility. Also, the fight was held at 10 a.m. local time to accommodate prime time television audience in the United States. Why am I talking about the referee? No, I'm thinking of Ray Robinson against the light Joey Maxim. That's when the referee got replaced. I don't think the referee. The referee was Carlos Padilla, wasn't it? I think it was Carlos Padilla. You know why that fight was so hard for Ali? Is because in the second fight with Frazier, that was for the NABF title before this one, Ali held excessively. There was a lot of holding by Ali. And I think it was Perez. The referee's name was Perez. His surname was Perez. I can't remember his first name. They said he didn't get control of the fight the way he was supposed to. And they gave Carlos Padilla the heads up in Manila. Do not let Ali hold excessively. And Padilla wasn't having it, man. And listen, I don't know how Ali won that fight, man. I don't know how he managed to stop Joe. Because Joe was pouring on flipping pressure, bro. Serious pressure. Serious pressure. That fight screwed both of them up, man. It screwed up both of them. It ended both of them. It blunted them. All of their fights were struggles after that. Frazier never had one good fight after that. Well, he had a few decent fights, but he was done. You know what I mean? And after that fight, the story came out about Frazier's right shoulder and his elbow. They were ridden with arthritis, and I think this is a condition he had for a while back. I think when he was coming up, and they said it actually affected how he boxed. He used to box differently. You know what I mean? He also was like, I think, was he legally blind? I think by the time he fought Ali, I don't know if he was legally blind, but he had some bad eye issues as well, man. Some bad eye issues. Wow. That fight is crazy though, man. Ali came off the stool, being hugged by his famed trainer, Angelo Dundee, and then collapsed to a seated position. This is post-fight. This is post-fight, yeah. Ali was like, when the bell sounded to end the 14th, Futch had seen enough. Eddie Futch wasn't letting him out. Yeah. It's Carlos Padilla from the Philippines. I didn't realize he was from the Philippines. Frazier later revealed 20 years later in his autobiography that by the time he fought Ali the third time, yeah, he was mostly blind in one eye. Yeah, yeah. And now both eyes were almost swollen shut. Ali wobbled Frazier back to back with right-left combinations late in the round. Yeah. Yeah, he was almost blind in one eye, man. Like, how was he getting through all the eye tests back then? They were doing eye tests back then. They probably weren't as stringent. Getting away with it. Or envelopes were passed, you know what I mean, to doctors and shit. Yeah, there's ways to get around that shit. With all the money and the purses they're generating, there's ways to get around that. Ali would fight on for 6 more years. Yeah. Frazier was knocked out the next year by George Foreman again. Yeah, next year, yeah, Foreman knocked him out. Yeah, second time. Yeah. Frank might persuade Anthony Yarde to not go through with the Boatsy fight. He might save him for that 5 against 5. Big up Bruce Gass. You're always welcome. There's a link there if you want to talk some boxing, Bruce. It's always good. The old 2 taps on the shoulder means 2 fingers. Afro Jam, arthritis and cataracts. Yeah, he was in bad shape, man.
He was in really bad shape.
Yeah, he wanted to beat Ali so bad. He wanted to beat him so bad. He wouldn't give up, man. Eddie Futch had to flip him, stop him. He would have lost his life rather than bow down to Ali. Joe would have willingly get his life taken before he bowed to Ali. That's how deep it was, bro. That fight was savage, bro. Yeah, it was savage. That fight was savage. That fight was savage. You know what I mean? I didn't see that in real time because I was a kid. The other fight I saw as savage as that is Tommy Hearns and Iran Barkley. The rematch. They finished each other. Listen, neither of them were ever to be world class again after that fight there. That was that. Tommy took a bet. He flattened Tommy's nose in that. He decked him, but Tommy got back up, boy. Tommy was riddling with Barkley with shots off the ropes. Like them fights were serious, man.
Riddick Bowe versus Evander after the third fight.
The third fight was crazy, bro.
I was like, what the hell is this?
The third, Evander decked him, but he didn't have no strength to follow up. He didn't have no strength. And Bowe was in a fuzz. Then I think, was it the next round he came out and he knocked him out? I was like, whoa, boy.
That's a crazy fight.
Absolutely crazy. Absolute craziness, man. Deep.
How old was you when you watched that fight?
Maybe about 24, 25.
Okay.
I'm a vet, bro. Been around this shit a long time. Yeah.
But you knew that those punches was for real. That's real men hitting other men in the head.
It's savage, man. Like the third fight was savage. Compared to the first 2 fights they had, the third one was savage, bro.
Yeah.
It's savage.
Evander let his hands go. When Evander get threatened, he let his hands go, man. Damn. Yeah. And Riddick Bowe wasn't no punk either, man. Damn. Evander start bouncing and start letting his hands go on you. Like crazy.
Wow, man. Somebody's asking, is it Afro Jam, how good was Sumbu Kalambe? I tell you what, yeah. First time I saw Sumbu Kalambe was when he took on Harold Graham for the European title.
Okay.
And he came to Wembley Arena and Harold was waiting for title shots and all of that good stuff. Was this before Hagler fought Leonard? I think it could have been. And he listen, Harold was fucking #1 contender in most of the sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? And nobody heard of Kalambe. Nobody knew who he was. Although I remember he had a stellar record. Nobody knew who he was though. And that fight was flipping. That was a grueling fight, bro. He was one of the first people I ever seen take Harold Graham out of his boxing construct because of his defense and his skill. Zaire-born Sumbu Kalambe had sick fucking skills, bro. And I remember the fight was in the balance. And he landed that big shot on Herald and he staggered him into the ropes. I think listen, that's what swayed it, man. That's what, serious fight. Serious fight. And then he outpointed Barkley. That was a tough fight, though. That was a very tough fight. And then he beat Mike. He had that purple patch. Like, look at that run of form. Harold Graham, bro. Harold Graham was approaching all 40 odd fights undefeated. I can't, right? And then he beat Iron Barkley, Robbie Sims, McCallum,
Damn.
knocked out, yeah. And
Damn.
then yeah. That's what kind of form he was on, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's what kind of form he was on. Listen, he was one of the best fighters in the game, bro. He was one of the best fighters in the game. If you get time, go watch his performance against Doug DeWitt. And Doug DeWitt had a great chin. It's a beautiful, what? Before he finished him off? Oh my gosh. Listen. And then it all went to pot again in the Michael Nunn fight. Michael Nunn knocked him out in the round. that just like, I couldn't believe it. Right? I was like, whoa, how did that happen? You know when you realize like they could fight a fight 100 times and Michael Nunn wouldn't stop him in a round. But he just caught him with the perfect uppercut. You know, the uppercut was just perfect.
Yeah. That's the amazing thing about the sport. You don't have to be a better fighter to beat the opponent in front of you. You just got to be a little bit more skilled, a little lucky, a little bit timing, a little bit more grit, and you could end somebody's career. Mess around, they'd be a better fighter than you, and you could end their career. This sport is no joke, man.
Colombe, I'll say this: he's one of the smoothest boxers ever.
Mm.
Just like they called Napolis Mantequilla, smooth as butter. That was Colombe. He was based in Italy. They nicknamed him Patrizio, like he had family and kids over there. They loved him over there. He had loads of defenses over there. Yeah. Colombe was one of the smoothest boxers ever. That's how good he was. That's how good. I'm telling you. Really.
What happens to him in the long run?
He still had some good wins after Michael Nunn. I think he fought Harold Graham again. It was a draw. He beat Steve Collins, didn't he? He beat Steve Collins, I think, for the European title, a European title defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so this is a very good fighter. His resume is ridiculous.
Listen, sick. He was so skilled. He was so skilled. He was so skilled. So skilled. You know what I mean? One of the best boxers of his era. Easily. One of the best. One of the best. Like, you know when people say, oh, that's boring, but he was one of the purists that you could just watch box all day. You could just watch Sumbu Kanambe box all day. All day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sean Dell, big up Sean Dell Bailey. Yeah, one of my favorite fighters, man. LT says Kalambe's resume was stacked. Yeah.
Amazing resume. Forget about stacked. He has an amazing resume.
Anthony Mackie, he remembers watching Kalambe in a tough fight with Mike McCallum. It was a very it could have went that one could have went either way, you know. That could have went either way. But when you're talking about McCallum, they fought twice, right? They fought twice. When you're talking about Kalambe and Mike McCallum, you're talking about, you see, there were some great boxing matches in that period, 80s and the 90s, right? Kalambe versus McCallum was one of them. And the first McCallum versus James Toney fight was just like, whoa! You know what I mean? Like, you know when you're like, the forget banging people out, the science. I'm talking about the science. That's when you're watching the science of boxing. Kalambe versus Toney. Kalambe versus McCallum. Colombe versus McCallum versus Tony. The second fight was good between McCallum and Tony as well. You know what I mean? Wow.
I consider James Toney to be probably the best inside fighter ever. He might just be the best inside fighter ever.
James Toney.
Yeah.
I tell you, what's my favorite performances from James Toney?
Evander was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He stitched him up with them body shots, didn't he?
Oh my God.
He stitched up him
yo. He embarrassed Evander, yo.
I'm like, dude.
That one is real bad.
He was so arrogant as well. And like he just had a mean streak, didn't he? James had the mean streak.
Yeah, he's a nasty piece of work.
Yeah, just a mean motherfucker, but fucking great fighter, man. Like I remember when he done the stitch up on Iran Barkley, I felt sorry for Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Just said, "Nah, I can't let you out there no more, bro. Can't let you out there.
James Toney is
let
a
you out there no more."
fighter.
He put the beatings on Iran. The beatings. But it was scientific though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing about James Toney. You think you gonna walk in there with some power and some speed and you gonna fuck with James Toney. He show you what skill really is, man.
You know what it was, yeah? At the time, because I used to watch that fight over and over again and over and over again. And I remember him doing that move, yeah? The pull counter, but I didn't know what it was. And I said, oh, that's what he was doing. That's what Tony was doing. Pull counters, bro. I didn't even know what it was at the time. I didn't even know what it was. You know?
Yeah, with James Toney, he understood everything. He understood range. Oh man, this guy understood a shoulder roll. This guy was just a whole different animal. You don't see fighters like that no more.
I tell you what, man. You know the first person I really see like I see people do it. The first person is Larry Holmes against Ray Mercer. Philly shell.
Mm-hmm.
He put that Philly shell on. I was like, oh my God. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know it was Philly shell at the time. I didn't know it was called a Philly shell. You know what I mean? I'm watching it. I said, oh, Larry Holmes, Philly shell.
Yes, but it's two different ones, right? It's the Philly shell and it's the other one. And man, James Toney was just magnificent with that Philly shell.
The Vasily Girov fight for the IBF Cruiserweight title, James Toney. I watched that on Sunday, and like, oh my, what a fight, man! Like, oh my days, James Toney, bro. Wow, I tell you that Girov was a tough fucking. Listen, what was he, Russian? Fucking hell, bro. They don't make them like that no more, bro.
Yeah, people.
I would have loved to see him fight Usyk at Cruiser. I would have loved that, bro. Because if you think Brady's is tough and throw a lot of punches, listen, Girov weren't no Joe. Remember when he fought Joe Messi? Joe Messi, the heavyweight, and Joe Messi was knocking everybody out. Girov ended that guy's career. Messi won, but Girov, like, he took all of, because Joe Messi could bang. He was banging people over. He got a lucky decision over Monty Barrett, right? But he could bang. Girov took all his shit, and in the last round, I think he decked Messi. And listen, he messed Messi up. Messi, had to retire with brain abnormalities. Girov was tough as anything, bro. And like, he forced Tony to show all he had in his repertoire. Because if it was up to Tony would have coasted. You know what I mean? If you leave Tony alone, he'd probably just coast and take the decision. He forced Tony to have to bust his ass on the canvas and make sure, like, and he got up, but that's what sealed it for Tony. That was a sick fight, bro. Sick fight. Tony's defensive skills were on another level, bro. Another level.
Yeah, that's why I say he's the best inside fighter I think I've ever seen in the sport. Like, this guy is amazing. To really watch him do what he do is amazing. It's upsetting to see the state that he's in today, but when he was in his prime, man, you don't find many fighters like that.
No,
Period.
you don't. You don't. You really don't. You really don't.
Yeah, you
But I
don't.
tell you what. But even though Michael Nunn lost to James Toney, it just shows how good Michael Nunn was, because he was outboxing James Toney until he found him finishing punches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because James was weird. As talented as I'm saying him, like the David Tiberi fight, like what happened, man? That fight was fucking weird. He lost the fight and got the decision, but Tiberi just outworked him. Like there was some weird shit back then. I remember the government got involved on the decision because it was so controversial, and Dave Tiberi never fought again.
But James was
160
James
pound
wasn't the
title.
most he wasn't the most disciplined fighter in between fights though, right?
Yeah, Tiberi outworked him. David Tiberi outworked him. And it was so, I'm telling you, the government got involved and Tiberi never boxed again. Never boxed again.
That's
and that was for the IBF title. You know, like at light heavy, who beat? Is it Drake Thatsy? I remember watching on Sky and saying, "How you let this fucking guy beat you? He just slept through the fight." You know what I mean? And Craig Richards does that as well. Like, how did Craig Richards manage to draw with fucking Sugden? What was his name? Sugden.
Saladin, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Some fighters are just, they're like fight. I guess not some, but a lot of fighters. The wiring of a fighter is very complex, isn't it? It's very complex.
Yeah, they'll step up for some fighters and won't step up for others. It's weird.
Like Duran against Kirkland Lang. It's almost like that was a weird one, man. You know what I mean? Although Kirkland was always capable of pulling that off. But nobody was expecting that.
Right? Yeah,
nobody was expecting that, man. Oh, June 1982. Let's talk about Sandline Williams, who arguably beat, yeah. Oh, yeah. Arguably beat Nigel Benn. Yeah, just like you're saying. Iran Barkley, James Toney, and Frank Tate, but never could get the nod. Damn. Yeah, he got a draw with, I believe he drew with a prime Toney, didn't he? Yes. Listen, Sandline Williams hurt Ben late in that fight, bro. And Sandline is a journeyman. And listen, none of them, you see all the names there? None of them could knock him out. None of them could dominate Sandline Williams. I remember he had that receding hairline. He didn't really look much. But Sandline Williams could fucking fight. The journeyman them days will fuck. Listen, you see them journeymen that like Sandline, they would fucking tear Jamal Charlo up. Johnny Bet, all of it.
Mm-hmm. That was boxing back in the days where a journeyman that take out a champion, you fuck around.
They take them out, bro. They take them out. They beat them up, bro.
You'd be surprised.
I remember watching the Sandline Williams Nigel Benn fight. I said, boy, Nigel, I mean, like, fuck that. Like, where did he come from? You know what I mean? Yeah, he hurt Nigel. He hurt him. And was giving it, listen. And there was another one. What's his name again, man? There was another journeyman. And he fought like flipping now. Let me see if I can find his name. One second. I'll find the name, man. I'll find the name. Them journeymen, them days, and listen, no joke, bro. And there was another one that Nigel fought, another journey, Lindsey Morgan. He was really tough, bro. And he had burns on his body, these burns. But he was tough as anything. He gave Nigel like flipping now, man. Different era. Different era, bro.
It's a different era. The journeymen back then would be world champions today.
I'll tell you, American boxing, the scariest, like my brethren, right? Mark Prince, right? Light heavyweight challenger. He challenged Mikuchelski for the belt. So I'm sitting down watching boxing. So okay, he's fighting this what was his name again? Kenny Wack. His name was Kenny Wack. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. I said, man, I might probably knock him out. Life and fucking death,
Yeah.
bro. I was so grateful the fight was over when it finished. So grateful because I was thinking like, yeah, man, I'm supporting my brother. Life and death. See, them days, American boxing it took no prisoners, bro. It took no prisoners. Tank Davis wouldn't, not managed like he wouldn't have survived.
Yeah, a lot of these fighters wouldn't survive.
Man.
A lot of these fighters wouldn't survive.
You'd have to change his mentality totally, bro.
I'm still completely in love with Ron Lau, dog.
Yeah, Ron Lau, man.
I'm still on that bullshit. You know what I mean? I watched Ron Lau and Foreman. It's over, man. You know these guys are built differently, man. Who goes through that? Who gets punched in the face and falls on their face completely out of it and get up and win the fight? Who does that?
Well, he had to, man. From the streets of Denver, you know what I mean? Nothing was handed to him. You know what I'm saying?
That fight is ridiculous.
Had to come like that. Like, yeah, his name was Randy. I just found it. Randy Smith, yeah? He had, what was it, 63 fights. I don't think he was ever dropped or flawed. Who did he go to this with? Victor Cordoba, who was a super middleweight champion. He went to this with Eubank, Mike McCallum, Tony Wilson, Guy Waters. These are all world champions, right? All right. James Kinchin, another contender. Michael Nunn, Frank Tate, Iran Barkley.
Damn.
Never flawed. Never flawed. Never flawed.
He's a hard man, B.
These guys, I'm telling you, Bernard Hopkins. I've got the box rec up. Yeah. Never flawed, man. And if you watch the fights, like, okay, you're thinking, oh, they're all tough fights. They're all tough fights. He's giving them tough fights.
These people, these
are journeymen. These are journeymen.
That's a lot of abuse to take, though. Even though they done good and they served themselves well, that's a lot of abuse over years to take, man.
Yeah, but they were good at defending themselves, though. So
yeah.
You see, like the guy I mentioned, Nigel Benford, Lindsey Morgan.
Yeah,
he was a journeyman. They say he made a fortune out of boxing because, like, he was taking tough fight, but he was getting paid. They said, yo, he invested well. He made a fortune. He invested into housing and shit. Yeah, he made good money.
That's good. That's good.
Made good money. Then you had to defend themselves, man. Then you had to look after themselves. They were craftsmen and they fought often as well. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like taking the dog for a walk, go the distance. Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
I understand. That's the difference. The fighters today ain't craftsmen. They weren't taught by boxing teachers. They taught by some trainer, and they doing some strength and conditioning and all. It's nowhere near what it used to be. A hardened man.
Yeah. What's up, Bruce?
Hey guys, how are you? How are you tonight?
Hey, what's going
on? Yeah,
not
too bad, man. Not too bad.
You know, you make me weak in the knees when you start talking about the fighters of the '80s that I grew up with, man. I mean, it was a different era, and yeah, you know, it was the explosion of cable, and there was a lot of demand on network TV, so these guys got a chance to make some nice money. And but it was also a real difficult time to be an athlete too, because you had the coke and you had the crazy lifestyles going on out there. But yeah, guys like Lindsey Morgan, I remember Lindsey Morgan. You know, like he had I think he was in a fire when he was younger.
That's right. Yeah, he had all the burns. Yeah, he burnt bad, pretty bad burns as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and James Toney, I'm friends with him on Facebook. I'm not even trying to. I haven't made the attempt yet, but I think I'm going to get him on for an interview because I was on an interview with him about a year ago, and a real nice guy, real down home guy. And he says he does not use the Philly defense. That's like a crab defense that Pops Miller, the great trainer.
Yeah. Bill Miller.
Yep. Yeah. William Pops Miller. Yeah. But I mean, those guys, they were the cream of the crop, man. And you're just talking about Sambu Kalambay, all the fantastic fights that he had, Mike McCallum, when we're on the
They was all like another fight that Nigel Benn had was it Jorge Amparo.
Jorge Amparo, yeah, another guy, another
I'm
tough.
telling you, man. Like Nigel was trying to hit him with these bombs, and he just kept just rolling and and he just inside give him like tough fucking fights. Nigel, see you see why Nigel came up with them big wins is because he went to train in America, and he trained in a I can't remember where it was, in a tough gym in a tough part of town, man. And like he was fighting the likes of Quinones and Paro. So you don't get that kind of like development in the UK. You don't get that. You can't get that. You know what I mean?
They don't have the varying skill sets.
No, you can't get that. You got to go across there and learn your trade, man.
Yeah. James Tony denies the Philly shell. He's got like some Michigan shell or something.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't mess with that because that's how close the two states are. But they got two different styles and approaches. That's what you get in America back then. Right now, no, but back then you were getting real different styles, different trainers, people from different parts of the country that knew different things, and they all trying to bring it together.
Tim Witherspoon. He used the shell, but he was trained by Slim Robinson, isn't it, Bruce? Like I think Slim taught him the shell.
Yeah. Jim Robinson, and Tim still today he wants to teach that defense of his that I guess it was like a cross arm crab kind of defense. And
yeah.
Out of all the old boxers that I know, it's amazing that Tim the defense that he knows. And it's the defensive ones. They still have half their marbles left because a lot of these guys from the old school, man. I mean, they can't think anymore. Their brains were battered.
Tim was. I remember when he fought the European champion Eklund, and he was a tall, big guy, and like them days, the Europeans are a bit naive. Like Tim just came with his shoulder tucked in his arm, and he threw that overhand right, and fucking. I don't know, boy. He flatlined the guy. Flatlined him.
Oh yeah,
overhand right. That was his specialty, isn't it, Bruce? The overhand right.
The one that he nailed Frank Bruno with.
Oh,
that was a thing of beauty. Oh.
Yeah. He hit Frank.
And who is that big Cuban? The guy was I think he was under Jorge Luis Gonzalez. You remember him?
Oh yeah. I remember it. Yeah, Tim done it. Who beat him first? Was it Riddick or Tim? I think Riddick beat him first, and then Tim done him after.
Yeah. And people were, Tim was on the downside of his career, but I mean, he's an ageless one, bro. You talk to him today, and he still wants to get in there and put on exhibitions, and
Tim did he have how much amateur fights did he have?
Not too many. He had I think maybe
10 or 11?
Yeah, not many at all. Went right to the pros. He needed money for the family, and he had to move to Philadelphia. I mean, he told me the whole story a few times. But man, his pro career, it started so fast. In his 14th fight, he's fighting Larry Holmes for the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah. And arguably beat him. I mean,
he's an amazing fighter. He's an amazing fighter. How do you last in that era amongst those kind of fighters, and you don't even have the amateur background? Come on.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
He was sparring with Muhammad Ali. He learned Muhammad Ali called him Terrible Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad called him Terrible Tim, man. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh.
Very good fighter, man. He was one of my favorite fighters of that period there. You know what I mean? My favorite fighters were Hagler, Tim Witherspoon. I used to like Dwight Muhammad Cowie, McCallum.
Oh.
Man, I liked all of them. Do you remember Jimmy Paul, Bruce?
Oh yeah, world champion Jimmy Paul, man. From he was from Detroit, wasn't he?
Yeah, Crunk,
yeah. He was awesome lightweight. Who he got beat by? Was it Greg Paul?
Greg Howard. Yeah.
Another tough one.
Jimmy hit like a flipping What it was, he had perfect timing. He had really good timing. He had great eyes, bro. He didn't throw a lot of punches, but when he threw them, he's like, man, yeah.
No, yeah. No, there's a friend of mine that I have, Darryl McKinney. He was a former heavyweight, boxed out of Kronk, and he in fact he's Thomas Hearn's brother-in-law, and
Okay.
and he's the one who told me. He said all the fighters of his day, they all have brain damage, especially the Detroit fighters, man. Because I mean, they had some wars in that Kronk gym. Those were like the Philly wars. You know, when Emmanuel went away for a weekend, it was like, you know, put the Cadillacs head on head against each other. So you can only imagine. But he's the one who told me, and he was like I said, a heavyweight, and he used to box the you know, all those fighters that came through Kronk. And man, it's a sad thing, man. Although we're never going to see another era like that, because I think the fighters today, they see this when they talk to these fighters, and you know they don't.
I tell you what, man. I saw Obakar sparring K-Line, and I'm like, flip it. That's not sparring, bro. that ain't sparring.
Well, I went down to the Provincetown Inn in 1982, and I saw Marvin Hagler sparring, and he was sparring with Buster Drayton, and he was sparring with Doug DeWitt. I mean, dude, and I'm talking about blood splattering on my face. I'm sitting by a poolside at the Provincetown Inn. And I mean, it was like I hadn't seen Hagler fight live before, but just seeing him spar, I'm saying, how can this dude be any tougher in the ring than he is in sparring? He wouldn't even he wouldn't even stay in the same wing as his sparring partners, because he figured he might have to fight him someday. And he didn't.
I tell you what, man, I never forget. And like, this is like early watching boxing. I was watching this card, man, at BBC One, and it was like, you know what I mean, blue chip event, like. The cartel, you know what I mean, like Mike Barrett. It was Bruno and Mark Taylor, right? And they brought Buster Drayton over. I never heard this Buster Drayton. He brought him as an opponent, and he stretched Mark Taylor out, bro. He stretched him out. You know what I mean? And like the referee, you can see the referee was trying to, you know, give him points and trying to save the putt. Nah, he got knocked out. And then Bruno fought Bone Crusher Smith. I don't know what Bone Crusher Smith is. I don't know these people. Knocked out Bruno, bro. You know, did you know Terry Lourdes was going to retire from boxing after that night?
Yeah, I remember watching that fight. I remember sitting home in '82, I believe it was, watching Bruno and Bone Crusher Smith. I was saying, you know, who's this Bone Crusher Smith? And he was getting tattooed, and he just came from behind and knocked out Frank Bruno. It was amazing. Yeah. It was like, wow, look at this guy. I think he might have even had like a record of like 13-3 or something like that. Really not an impressive record when he came in the ring. But it was
he lost to James Broad in his debut for Bone Crusher and stuff. But I mean, I'm like,
that's the beauty of that era that y'all describing. Now, mind you, I'm not as deep as it with it as y'all are. I was born in 1980, but you realize that anybody could get it in that era.
Yeah. Basically, that's what it was. Yeah.
You think somebody's a joke? You'll find out.
Yeah, that's what it was, man. That's what it was. You know, and like you never knew what the imports were going to bring at times. Like. They bought who was it for Frank Bruno? Jumbo Cummings. He fought Frazier in his last fight, and it was a draw. And okay, it's all going to schedule. And then I think it was at the end of round 3 or 4. Cummings threw this overhand right, bro, and Bruno froze as the bell rung. And I think it was Harry Gibbs held him up, and he managed to get to his corner. Like, Lord mercy. And like Cummings was a jailbird. He used to like set records and benching and stuff. And like, like Cummings, because I remember picking up the paper, and it was saying this is the first Bruno opponent who's got a physical frame dimension similar to Bruno, like big arms and stuff. And Cummings, you don't know what's coming, man.
Yeah, he was known to be one of the first fighters doing PEDs before testing went into effect. You know, it was you know, the the gym rats. They had him in their magazines. The bodybuilding. You know, he was one of their own. You know, out of prison in Chicago, hard knocks, but he was juiced to the gills. You look at fucking Jumbo Cummings, and like you said, man, he fought Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier's last fight to a draw.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you say that. Joe Stunner, I don't know if he's still listening. Bob Hazelton, right, who knocked out, what was his name? Bob Foster, late in Bob's career. He was juiced up. He used to juice up. Foreman knocked out Hazelton. Yeah, yeah. But Bob Hazelton, he was one of the first known juicers as well. Joe done a very good video on it. Done a very good video. Bob Hazelton. Yeah.
Bob, what a fighter he was, man. Whew.
Yeah, man.
I watched him late in his career when I was starting to get into boxing. He fought Mike Quarry on the undercard of Jerry Quarry and Muhammad Ali. And man, you go watch that fight, and you just about get the priest out there for Mike Quarry. He got knocked out so badly. He must have been on that canvas for 5 minutes before he even opened his eyes. Jerry kind of blamed that on his loss to Ali. He said his head wasn't in the fight, but man, Bob Foster, what a right hand.
Mike Quarry, yeah. But you know who done like Mike and Jerry both had bad pugilist syndrome. But they said that Jerry used to beat the crap out of Mike in sparring, bro. He used to beat the crap out of him. Because I think their dad used to make them spar each other. You know what I mean? And like Jerry had no choice but beat up his brother.
I'll tell you that hard sparring is no joke. The only reason why we even know who Vladimir Klitschko is because he wasn't sparring his brother.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. I'm telling you, that's true. Damn,
I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
Well, Leon Spinks used to beat the shit out of Michael Spinks in sparring.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They were probably sparring at a lighter weight, though. They was probably sparring at a lighter weight.
Well, Michael won the Olympics at middleweight, and Leon was a light heavy.
Light heavy, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and like
Leon was strong too, man. Leon had unbelievable strength. He just had this God-given crazy Marine strength about him, where people who knew him that I've talked to said he was something as an amateur. Knocked out everybody when he fought.
Yeah, he was a formidable amateur. Formidable amateur. You know what I mean?
But he got that late 70s, 1980s syndrome of the streets, and they ate old Leon up.
Yeah. Because they're from St. Louis, but I think like they trained in Philly. They trained in the Philly gyms. You know what I mean? So it's just war. It's just war. Just war.
I agree that tough times make tough people. I ain't or never go against that. But when boxing, you go a little too tough, a little too long, man. It's gonna take something out of you, man.
Of course. You know, of course. You got to get blunted. If you go as hard as they did back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to, I mean, like Liam got after the Ali fight, Courtsier beat him up. I think Larry beat him up in a title defense, and then Courtsier, then Dwight Muhammad Cowie humiliated him, and he just never managed to, he had some good wins. Like who was the oh man,
Eddie Animal Lopez.
Eddie Animal Lopez. Who's the guy that knocked out Burbick? He beat him.
Bernardo Mercado.
That's the one. He beat him as well. Yeah. So he had some good wins.
Yeah. I mean, he was the goods, bro. He had some good shit, and it was after the fight, right after the Ali fight. That was when he got knocked out by Coetzee, and you could see, even in the Ali rematch, I speak to somebody in his camp, Leon Mohammed, great guy. And he told me that Leon was hardly ever in camp. He was out playing pool, out drinking. He just got the money. The money did him in.
Yeah, the money. Yeah.
A hard man like that, the money will do you in.
Yeah.
If it didn't, my favorite fighter, the history of the world, Hagler. If it did in him, it could do it anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Hagler kind of warned us about that. He said it's real hard to get up at in the morning and hit the street.
Pajamas.
Pajamas, yeah.
So Hagler, as tough as he was, as ferocious as he was, man, you don't find fighters like that no more. My guy is Terrence Crawford for my reincarnation of Hagler, but that's just a different kind of beast. So if money could touch them, yeah.
Well, Hagler was it 12 defenses. You know what I mean? Like the Mugabe fight is when Ray said he's gonna get Hagler, isn't it? He looked at the Mugabe fight and said, "It's time to get him now. I'm gonna get him now. I'm gonna get him now."
Because he knew something came out of him in that fight.
Yeah.
He saw that he had slowed down that fraction of a second.
Yep.
And John Mugabe, what was it, like something like 27-0, 27 knockouts or some crazy record like that in Fort Hagler. But the thing was, he was a junior middleweight. In fact, after that fight, he went right back down to junior middleweight. People kind of give Mugabe, I think, a little bit too much credit for, you got to give him the credit for trying to overachieve and jump into a middleweight, but that wasn't his division.
Mm.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Although they mandated him #1, like to fight Hagler. You know what I mean?
Historically, he did a hell of a job.
Probably put the demand in because I think back in those days, a titleist from a lighter weight class could automatically become a mandatory to the next weight division up.
Yeah, but he wasn't a titleist at the time. He was a contender.
Oh, he was a contender.
Mugabe was a titleist at the time.
No, not when he fought Hagler. He was a contender.
Like because his next fight, he lost the title to Terry Norris, first round knockout.
No. Because what I tell you how it went, right? After he fought Hagler, he challenged Dwayne Thomas, I think, for the vacant WBC light middleweight title. Mike Tyson was commentating, and he quit. He quit against Dwayne Thomas from the Kronk, and he eventually won the belt from the French guy, Rene Jacot. That's who he won the belt from. His first time. Yeah. He was definitely a contender. Like he did beat one middleweight, I think, to qualify. I can't. Frank the Animal Fletcher. I haven't got he beat Frank the Animal Fletcher before he fought Hagler.
Oh yeah, that was like the Battle of the Jungle. They had that build on. It was NBC Sport Build. The animal against the beast.
Yeah, the animal against the beast.
That was early in his career. That's when they were really pumping Mugabe, and that's when I thought he won he won a middleweight title before he fought Hagler. I mean, a junior middleweight title.
Nah, he beat Rene Jacot, French guy. That's who he beat for his first title. Yeah. Because I remember the first light middleweight title. It was against the Kronks, Dwayne Thomas, and he was doing okay at first, and then he got thumbed in the eye. He got thumbed, and he quit. Mike Tyson was furious. He says, "Man, he's got the other eye. He should keep fighting." Like, what happened? Yeah. And like after that, Mugabe never really recovered because like even though Hagler beat him, he still had that fearsome reputation. But when he quit against Thomas, kind of like, oh shit, you know what I mean? You're supposed to be the beast, but it is what it is. And then he became fodder. I think, like you say, Terry Norris beat him, and Jerry McClellan knocked him out in London in one round for the WBO title.
Mm.
Yeah, he knocked him out in a round. But yeah, man. Great days, man. Great days. He was supposed, who he was supposed to fight Mugabe before Hagler? It's Tommy Hearns. But I haven't got the magazines or the receipts, but I think Emmanuel Stewart didn't want to make the fight.
Who, Hearns didn't want to make the fight?
No, I don't think it's Tommy. I don't think Emmanuel Stewart really wanted to put Hearns in there with a beast. Yeah. That
would have been a tough fight for Hearns.
It would have been. It would have been. Styles make fights. I mean, it would have been very tough. I mean, like Mugabe didn't really train. He didn't really train. He didn't like training, but he was just ferocious in there, man. Ferocious. Like sometimes because he was trained by George Francis, the English guy, white hair, who trained Frank Bruno, and yeah, it was hard to get him to buckle down to train. He didn't like training. He just like he was good at beating people up and get his money and spend it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. There was lots of characters, man. Mugabe was a character, man. He was a character. Yeah, man. Okay, people. Yeah, it's been great, man. Glad you showed up, Bruce.
All right, man. Yeah, I was listening in the car and I said, "Oh man, all the subjects I like to talk about." So I
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I couldn't. I appreciate you having me on here just to make the scene, man.
Yeah, respect, Bruce.
Every time. I mean, you're always welcome, man. Hi, it's been a pleasure, man. Been a pleasure. Everybody hit the likes on the way out, and it's all good. You know
Good night, guys.
All right, peace.
Peace out.
Peace. All right, people. Hope you enjoyed it. Went old school. You know what I mean? But you know how we do. Peace.